Hey, this is going to be one of our first more serious episodes. Um, Today we're talking about our faith. With Easter coming up, we figured that this would be a good topic for this episode. So if there's anything that you want to reach out to us about, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to shoot us a message. Um, we would love to hear from you. We'd love to engage with you guys if there's anything that you want to talk to us about. That all being said, happy Easter, and we hope you enjoy the episode.
Welcome, faithful listeners, to A Foolish Endeavor, Episode 2, Season 2. Today, we're here with the boys. We're chilling. We're talking. We're eating pizza.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good time.
It's a good Wednesday.
It is a
It
good
is,
Wednesday.
it is.
All right, gents. So, being that, it's almost Easter and this will be dropping right before Easter, I was already kind of kicking around this topic and now participating in a Bible study that I'm doing at the church and just been feeling more and more led to bring up as one of our great youth leaders, as kids would say, let's talk about the F word tonight. Let's talk about faith. And let's let some people know about our spiritual sides and kind of our personal beliefs and such. So, in prep for this, I was trying to think about some passages that I've read in the past and things that have just stood out to me. I guess before I start, do you guys have any that stick out to you?
Let me pull up my Bible app.
All right, well, let me go
I've-
ahead. Oh, go ahead, Chad. Sorry.
I've been a fan of Romans 12. Specific verse number I don't remember.
Okay.
But it's be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
I like
not
that one.
not following the ways of the world.
I like that one. That's a
What is
good
it?
one.
Conform. Hold on. I thought I had it memorized.
One of my ones that I've always resonated with a lot in my life is Jeremiah 29:11, which is very popular.
Mhm.
It's for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. It's kind of something I've always leaned on whenever I'm like feeling like I don't know what I'm doing in my life, or like I don't know if I'm making the right decisions. It kind of just reminds me that like my life is in His hands and not in my hands, and I've always been pulled out of whatever darkness I'm in and brought back into the light. So
That's a good one.
Yeah.
One that one of my favorites, and I guess one of the ones that I've always tried to like go with, so to speak, is James 2:17. It reads, "If one of you says to them, 'Go in peace, keep warm and well fed,' but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead."
yeah,
So I think that's always been one that's like really stuck out to me and stuff like that, especially in like today's culture.
Mm-hmm.
You see like people who will do good deeds, but they're only doing it because they're like making a YouTube video of them doing a good deed.
right, yeah, and it's kind of like what like what's the basically if you feel like you're stuck in your life, if you at least do something for God, for the Lord, for your church, that gives you a sense of purpose. That
Mm-hmm.
it's like I'm not just doing life for nothing, I'm doing life for something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And selfishly almost, it's that feeling of helping somebody just for the sake of helping somebody,
Mm-hmm.
trying making the world a little bit
Altruism.
better. It's awesome.
It is.
Mhm. I think something that my dad's always said that's like stood out to me was because he like partook in like Bible studies and stuff like that whenever he lived down in Virginia. And one of the things he said that it's our duty to water the seeds and plant the seeds, but we're not worthy enough to see those seeds grow.
Right.
That like it's our job to plant seeds and to water them and just hope that they grow, and hopefully that seed will grow into something that will then keep on doing that and have a snowball effect.
Yeah. And it's not our harvest, it's his.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
it's, yeah.
So something that has always resonated with me is Isaiah 41:10. I get anxious a lot and I worry a lot. So Isaiah 41:10 says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." That's something I've always leaned on in my life.
Mhm.
Whether I get anxious or nervous or I'm afraid, I just think back to that and take a deep breath and know that he's right there with me and walk me through
Mm-hmm.
whatever I'm going through.
Yeah.
It's
for sure.
comforting to know
Personal.
that you're never alone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Also, I really like Philippians 4:13, which is a classic. Just I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yep.
It's a good reminder. Like whenever I'm just going through the grit, going through work when I don't feel like I want to be there, or I'm not making a difference, or if I have family problems, friend problems.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's a good reminder that
Yeah.
he is always there, and he's the one that's giving me the strength to go on every day.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you there. Another one I had written down. So in prep for this, I try to take some notes and stuff like that, and was really thinking about it. And so I was going through my computer just for like some old files and stuff like that, from whenever I was like the leader of crew at Penn State and stuff like that. I had
Yeah.
a bunch of different things I had written down over the years. And then I came across my speech that I did senior year of high school at baccalaureate. And this one just, I hadn't read this one in a while and I hadn't thought about it for a while. So I think that's maybe why it resonated a little bit more. So it kind of combines a couple thoughts here, but the main overall passage is from Ezekiel chapter 37. It's when God tells Ezekiel, prophesy to dry bones. And when he does, God says, I will give breath to you, and you will come to life. I will attach tendons to you and make flesh come upon you and cover you with skin. I will put breath into you, and you will come to life. To me, like, it's cool because you can think about it because it's interpreted in a bunch of different ways. I've heard a bunch of different ways it's interpreted. But one of the ways that I've always looked at it, and I thought it was neat to reread this and kind of see like how even much younger myself had a pretty cool grasp on how awesome God is. I had wrote, how I look at this is before we accept Christ into our hearts, our life is dry and needs to be replenished and by things, and sometimes those things aren't positive. But when we finally accept him and he breathes his life into us, we are eternally replenished. Not only that, but he gives us a suit of armor later on. And because of it, it's not easy, and he's protecting us through all of our endeavors, even if they may be foolish ones like this one. But he's always protecting us. So he gives us life, he gives us breath, he gives us skin. But then not only does he give us that, but then he also gives us a suit of armor to protect what he's already given us.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the armor of God is just awesome. That whole section of the Bible is just crazy. Like the sword of is the sword of
the Spirit, shield of faith,
Spirit.
What's the breastplate?
Righteousness.
Breastplate of righteousness,
Breastplate.
helmet of salvation.
Yeah.
What are the other ones? I feel
belt
really
of
bad.
truth, and shoes of the Spirit.
I don't think. Is it shoes?
Or not of the
Shoes
Spirit.
of peace.
Yeah,
Shoes of peace. There we go.
We had night themed VBS last year, and that was in one of the songs. So if I didn't remember that,
Dude.
man, shame on me.
Mandy would be so sad.
There's one VBS that did the love, joy, peace, patience, and kindness, goodness, and self control, and that like locked that in for me.
Do you remember what those are?
The Fruits of the Spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
Which one was that? Which VBS was that?
This is the first time that I was like a leader. So,
So I would have been like partaking in
Yeah.
VBS then.
It was like a long time ago.
I remember getting yelled at as a craft helper that year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. I did too. I think it was both of us.
We were supposed to make one so that we knew how to do it to help the kids. And they were supposed to be like bracelets or something.
Yeah, I forget what it was.
And whatever it was, I made mine really long. And she's like, "What are you doing? You're wasting material." Gave me
Yeah.
the finger wag. And then I was like, "Oh,
Yeah. I remember
Who's the
that.
leader?
I don't remember."
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Was that the year that was it me, you, and Dimitri Vega were
Probably.
playing baseball outside?
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That was fun.
It was one of those first 2 years. 6th or 7th grade. I don't remember which.
Which was the one that we were playing? Or we were in charge of games outside.
That was Saddle
I
Ridge
think it was
Ranch.
both of those.
Saddle Ridge. That's it,
Because that was
Saddle
the
Ridge.
first year I helped,
Yeah,
but I wasn't like
that was
a
fun.
part of helping you guys with that. I was working in kitchen and like running stuff back and forth to Biz.
Okay. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, so I have another conversation piece here. This one's a little bit more open-ended and such. So this is what we talked about at Bible study on Sunday. One thing we talked about is who brought you to faith/church and who seemed to have a large part in your religious journey. So I'll give you guys some time to think about that.
Other than my parents, who
that was
started
my
taking me
start.
to church when I was younger, my man Jake over here played a big role
Nice.
in me getting a little bit more involved with Chippewa United Methodist. When did I start going with you for those youth group things?
Would have been your junior year, my
Something
sophomore
like
year.
that, yeah.
So that's when we actually like started playing baseball together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when that would have kicked off.
Yeah, that made a big difference for me.
Nice.
Having a friend in the church. We were changing churches at the time, and really coming in somewhere I didn't know anybody, and started playing baseball with Jake, and he kind of brought me in.
Nice.
I grew up a little. I'm sorry, Alex.
That's okay.
I
I just figured we should go around the circle.
I was
but,
only cutting in because I have a similar.
Go for it.
My experience is similar to Dom's, except I grew up a little Catholic boy,
Oh yeah.
and
I know
a
where you're going with
rebellious
this.
Catholic boy, and I didn't pretty much care for church, and then Alex got me.
Yeah.
The first thing you invited me to was a Saturday night service,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that.
and I remember this distinctly because you and your dad picked me up. We stopped at the gas station, and I got a vanilla Pepsi.
You know all the specifics.
Yep.
He's like, that was
Can
a
you say
darn
that
good
again,
Pepsi.
please?
What?
Can you say that again, please?
The specifics. What? Am I saying it wrong?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No.
I
it's
just love the way
perfect.
you say it. But I remember sitting there waiting for your dad to come back out of the
Door.
the part where you go into.
The door.
And
Wait.
Into the
couple
gas
guys-
station? Is that
yeah.
what you're referring to?
yeah,
Okay.
like the part
The-
that you're
the
not
store
pumping
part?
gas. Yes, yeah.
You just say into the gas station
Yeah,
and not
that's-
at the pump.
Well, no, like the gas station is the whole thing. So the
But
I
if
think
you
it
say,
is implied when you say I
But
went into the gas
inside-
Yeah,
station.
I was saying like,
Inside,
Nobody
you went
thought-
to
to the
store.
gas part.
Oh,
You went
wait.
into the gas part.
You went into the gas tanks,
Like
like under the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
went at the gas pumps inside the gas station is in. You know,
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So he was in there getting things, and then before you
Okay.
came out, we were sitting there watching these. I don't know how many people were in the van in front of us, but they were enjoying their music so much that the whole van was sitting there rocking the whole time.
How? That's great. That
And
that
then-
you remember this.
we were still early to church, so we played horse in the back parking lot.
We did?
Yeah.
What kind of horse?
Basketball?
Oh,
The game horse?
Wow.
The game that I always lose at because I am bad at sports.
short, white.
Well, that too.
But nice, though. Yeah.
And then after that, it was VBS. And then after that, the Bible study.
Yeah.
Well, and what your mom and I talked about on Sunday was we would pick you up for Sundays to come to church with us too after a while too. Like
Yeah.
once Chad was going to like youth group and everything like that.
Yeah.
Bonnie,
remember Bonnie's faith group.
once he was confirmed and everything like that, he was allowed to start coming to church with us.
Well,
Yeah.
because I had a huge fight with my mom.
I was going to say, I felt like they were like, oh.
Oh, I had, was it 8th grade Sunday school in the Catholic Church is confirmation class.
Yeah.
So all school year, that's what that was. And around February, the teacher said that it was about joining the church. And I was like, well, no, not doing that. And yeah, my mom and I got into a big fight. And she went to go pick up my brother from his Sunday school class, which was after the 11 o'clock service. And my dad and I talked it out. And the deal was that if I went through with confirmation, I could go to any other church that I wanted as long as I went to church on Sunday. So
Yeah.
I went for about a year, maybe a little bit more than that, by myself. Sat with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Members of the church thought that I was Jess's boyfriend, which is hysterical.
That's funny.
And she just had to constantly tell people, no, that's my cousin.
Specifically Doris Hayward.
Yeah.
The sweet old lady who's like,
Yeah.
Jess, your boyfriend's so nice. And she's like, that's my cousin.
Yeah.
Kissing cousins.
Yeah.
You have to tell her that every week.
Dude, seriously, we did. But honestly, though, like, so Doris had this little black book, and she would send Christmas cards to every single person that she would see at those services. She'd get your name, and she'd get your address. She'd send you prayer cards. She'd send you, Christmas cards, everything. She was awesome. And
That
then
is awesome.
talking about, like, how small of a world it is, end up playing Pony League Baseball, find out that she's the aunt to my head baseball coach. Then she ends up coming over to our house to get her Christmas card taken because she always liked my mom's backgrounds for our photos.
Nice.
So she came and took her photo in front of our Christmas tree.
Nice.
That's cute.
Yeah, she
Doris
was just a
what?
sweet old
What's her
Doris
last name?
Hayward.
Hayward.
Yeah.
It's like, I like your tree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to come over and get my picture in front of it.
It's like, how do you say no to that?
Yeah.
You don't.
You don't. Yeah, exactly.
No, you just let her in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
What about you, Alex?
Well, like I've always just been at church, like ever since I can remember. But Troy Miller was really the one that like solidified my church career or whatever. Yeah, I just remember
The start of your walk, we'll say.
Yeah, I say. And like youth group with Chris Morgan and all those guys. It was just like a really, really fun time to be at church, and that's really what made me realize that there's something to church, and there's more. And then Troy helped me realize that there's more to it than just the fun stuff. So, and then going to like Apex, the retreats and stuff like that, and all that just really locked it in, and haven't been the same ever since.
You had a time away, though.
College?
Into high school through college.
Was I away towards the end of high school?
Yeah,
I mean,
think
like,
you had,
like kind of like
you petered out.
out of the church sphere. And
Okay.
I just remember you exploring stuff
Yeah.
for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. But even whenever I went to college, I was also like I got pulled into being the pianist for the chapel at my college. So I'd like party hard Friday, Saturday night, and then I go to church on Sunday every weekend. So it was like God always kept his hand on me, like no matter what I was doing. And then whenever I came back, Kevin Jenkins was the one that pulled me back into the praise band, and then Yeah.
Now you're just on fire
Yep. On fire.
in a good way.
Yep. Yes, sir.
I would say for me, like obviously my parents got me to start going to church and stuff like that. We didn't really start fully attending until I was in either third or fourth grade when I started attending like regularly. Before that, we were creasters. We went to a church out in Hookstown, and then I think like some of Jess's friends went to the church and stuff like that. Got her to start going to youth group, and then it was like we always went to VBS there. I think my parents kind of realized that like there was a good youth and children's ministry there, and like especially me, I was so overly involved with baseball. I think they knew that I needed that balance
Yeah.
of like something positive. Not that baseball wasn't positive, but you know,
Just
like
like a different type of
yeah,
positivity.
a positive spiritually.
Yeah.
Because before then, you know, you don't really get much from sermons and stuff like that. Whenever you're a kid, just going twice a year,
Right.
maybe
Mhm.
3 times a year. If you're like feeling froggy, you're like, oh, let's go. So I would say like that's what got me started, and then from there, man, I don't know. I would say like Troy had a big part.
Mm-hmm.
Then the two of you had a big part as well for like me like getting involved into the Bible studies and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Then of course like Gary Bloom and Gene
Gary
Fontaine
Bloom. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
both had
Gene
huge
too.
parts. Yeah.
Gary Bloom. Oh god, such an awesome soul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was hard. Whenever he
That was a
passed.
very hard passing. Yeah. Suddenly too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was only like mid-50s, I think. If I
Yeah,
remember
and he
correctly.
was like on fire too. Like he was like doing so much good stuff, and all of a sudden
Mm-hmm.
ripped out of. But
Yeah, he was.
God
he
has
was
a plan
awesome.
though.
Yeah, but I would definitely say that, and it was like, and then like Kevin took a pretty big part of that once I hit like high school too. He was the one that like really pushed me to start attending Bible studies and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Uh huh.
I would say, still to this day, I think my favorite Bible study we ever did was Revelation. We took a whole summer and did Revelation, and he led that one. That was after his senior year
Kevin
of
led
high
that?
school. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That was after his senior year of high school. That was like one of those ones that was just wow, holy
Mm.
crap. You know, like we had all pre-read and then like discuss what we thought. Not
Yeah.
a single person agreed.
Yeah.
And you're just like, but everyone brings up really good points, and I see how they say that. So I think that had a big part. But I still remember like the day that it hit me. Um, we were swimming over at my Aunt Karen's house. Then we had like a special Bible study that night, and it was just like a worship and feet washing night. I remember we all
That's
just
cool.
like it was just Troy Miller up there playing acoustic, softly singing, and we all just kind of like took turns like praying together and like washing each other's feet, and that was the night it hit me.
Mhm.
And I want to say I was 6th or 7th grade for that one, and like
Yeah.
it was just from then on out, I didn't really want to miss youth group for a long time. Like obviously there was times where you're like, I don't want to go anymore, but then you still push yourself because you knew, you know, there's good things that come from it.
Right.
But that's whenever I really started like, I want to do Bible study and stuff like that. And sadly, I got away from that for a couple years here, but I'm glad I'm starting to get back into it.
Nice. Yeah, I remember I had like a breakdown moment at a Apex conference where it was just like I was just like overcome with Holy Spirit and was just like weeping. And it was like at that moment was like that was one of the biggest moments where I felt like the raw power of God and of his presence and what he can do in like everyone else's life that was like experiencing similar things in mine, and I was just like overwhelmed by it. I was maybe um 9th grade maybe.
Hmm.
So that was just a profound moment for me.
Now, what was Apex? I don't think they had that whenever I was there.
It was a just like a medium sized conference in
Was it kind of like
Johnstown.
Spark?
What's Spark?
Chad, you went to Spark. Was it similar to that?
Spark is a youth retreat that happens it's like a weekend for the Western Pennsylvania Methodist Conference.
Okay. Yeah, this would be similar probably.
It's just kind of an okay thing. what was the mission trip that they did? Youth for Missions was also through the conference. Those were good.
Did you guys ever do the 30-hour famines?
Yeah, I did a couple of those.
I have a couple scars from those bad boys.
Yeah, you do. You had some messed up eyes for a while too.
Yeah, literally, I broke the orbital bone on my face on one of them, off of Annette Sprankle's head, who's a tiny little, I don't even know, 10-year-old that just like wrecked my face.
Oh, and then we weren't allowed to play Aliens in the church for a couple years.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
Was that
Chris-
Wasn't that the same year that Chris was trying to make everyone sleep outside in cardboard boxes?
that was the next.
and then
year.
there was a like crazy
no.
rainstorm.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was that year because I was like, Chris, I need to sleep inside because my face is like swollen, completely like shut. He's like, yeah, you probably should. Which hindsight, I probably should have gone home.
Definitely should.
yeah,
But then like,
yeah, I would think so.
my mom came the next day to church, and like I was up there like my face just all swollen. And she was like, Alex, what happened?
You're
I
like,
was-
oh, nothing.
I was just like, I
Broke my face.
hit my face off of a girl's head. And then I went to the hospital, and sure enough, I broke my orbital bone.
What do they do for that?
Nothing. It's just
They're like, it'll
it's-
fix.
Yeah, it was just like a hairline fracture.
Mm.
Put a cast on it, just cover his face.
Yeah, totally sealed.
For the longest time, then there was that one like glass window pane that was cracked for the longest of times.
Yeah. Well, the one was totally shattered because I had 3 pieces of it in my body. With
Yeah.
I had to get 14 stitches because of that one.
Mm-hmm.
It actually cut 2 major arteries, and they said if I didn't get to the hospital within like 10 minutes of when I did, I would have passed out and started to bleed out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
Jeez.
Now I really understand why we weren't allowed to play Aliens.
Yeah.
and then very next year, Callie Wallace fell down the steps and broke her arm playing
Mhm.
Aliens. So that's when it was totally officially.
I guess for
cut out.
people that don't know what Aliens is, it's very similar to Release, except for you have a weapon as well that can kill the people who are it.
Yeah. And so our church would play it in our church, but turn out
All the lights.
Yeah.
all the lights.
So we
and
played
then
it at
would
church.
It's
Flashlights.
tag in the dark
With
in a
weapons.
furnished building.
With people that are overly competitive going full tilt sprinting
Yeah.
Yeah.
with multiple floors.
Yeah.
I remember
And-
we would like have them unlock all the B rooms and everything too. Like
Yeah.
everything was unlocked. Like
And-
there was almost nothing out of bounds except for like the front of the sanctuary.
And the like whole like bottom floor and actually most of the second floor was all just like concrete floors. So
Or
it's
hard
like,
linoleum.
yeah, it's either hard linoleum or like concrete.
Yeah, there was no
So-
forgiveness.
No.
The fact that more people survived
Yeah.
It's impressive.
and the fact that the church didn't like burn down. Yeah.
I remember
Because that's just middle school and high school kids
Mhm.
in full chaos mode.
Yeah, just being rowdy.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I was still in high school for this or if it was whenever I was like a leader in college. But we did Aliens at the church again, and me and Brad Jenkins would walk around with that big baby mask on, and I had my Bluetooth speaker of just like this whining, crying baby.
Oh, that's terrifying.
and then we would set up TVs with just like static
Yep.
playing to give a little bit of illumination through the
Mhm.
halls
That
that were
is
super dark.
terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Brandon
I
and
I kind of
Right.
want to go back to what Chad said though. You said you were surprised about how many people survived.
Oh yeah. Dude, you're running
How many
full
did
tilt
we
down a hallway.
lose?
Well, no, like that's the thing. Like,
Well, Chad's over there.
like
Fine,
nobody,
survived like
I remember
unscathed.
who we lost. Let's
nobody
moment
died.
of silence.
I mean,
And
I was probably a casualty, I would say.
You were
almost
probably the closest.
Yeah. But like that, there weren't more injuries that were that serious.
Other than like normal bumps and bruises.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Like definitely would have expected more broken bones. I mean, like
yeah,
you're going from like the lobby of the church and like some kids are like skipping all the stairs down to fellowship hall. Like they're
Uh-huh.
just yeeting down 10,
Uh-huh.
10 plus stairs because they're like, I don't want to get caught.
yeah.
legs,
Seriously.
both your legs break.
Especially like
And then
whenever the pop machines used to be down there. You
Uh-huh.
just use that to bounce off and keep running.
And then the places people would find to hide.
Yeah, like
All the
above the
nooks and-
sanctuary.
Yeah,
I remember.
which is incredibly dangerous.
I
I've
remember
walked
I
up
lifted someone up into the like. So if you're sitting up in the balcony, there's like that like little 3x3 door.
Mm.
Yeah, I would lift people up and put them inside of that, and then they would crawl. So they're like in the ceiling of the sanctuary.
there.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's not okay.
No, we definitely should have not done that.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
just
probably
glad.
not cool.
I'm just glad that nobody tried to like go hide up in the steeple.
That's an option.
No, well, no, it's not an option, but you can get
I definitely would have tried that.
in
Wait.
there from the second floor.
There might be
Oh,
somebody
that's right.
still up there.
No, there's not.
Just like,
Maybe
no,
one
I just
day
never
they'll
found them.
There's a
find me
ton
up
of bird
here.
poop up there. I promise you.
I swear I'll get down one day.
They'll never find me.
Surviving on rainwater and pigeons.
No, they're the ones who get all the extra communion
Grab
bread.
like a flying pigeon with their hand.
No, someone from the church knows they're up there. They get all the extra communion bread and grape juice. It's the only time they get to eat.
Rations.
Were you told? This is a
But they're
little bit
gonna
of a
win the
tangent,
game.
But were you ever told of the sub basement?
What?
Yes. But I don't remember much from it.
It's not an actual thing.
Oh, really?
Unsurprisingly,
Yeah, I didn't think so, but I remember
There's
being
a-
told that whenever I was in like middle school.
there's a little nook in the back of one of the closets in Fellowship Hall.
Mm-hmm.
That there's just a bunch of paint cans stored there, but it looks like it's a staircase that goes down further.
It
Oh
really
yeah, I've
does.
seen that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
someone, I don't remember who, but someone would spread the rumor that the church had a haunted sub basement.
I remember investigating that during a spaghetti dinner one time. And I was like, what is this?
Wait, like in the middle of the dinner or like after when we're all cleaning up?
It was during the middle of it.
Gosh.
Different note. Where do you guys feel the closest to God?
When I'm worshiping, like playing guitar on stage for me.
I would say for me, it's a close between like worship, whether I'm a part of the like worship team or just like partaking in the worship that day. But I would say, no, I am going to say definitely like whenever I'm out hunting, like by myself,
Mm-hmm.
like just up in a tree stand, especially like during the fall, it's just so peaceful. You have a lot of time to reflect. You're sitting in that tree stand for sometimes 8+ hours.
Yeah.
You can't just be on your phone the whole time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And you sit there and you reflect about a lot of things, and you just get to see nature, and I don't know. You just get to see like how beautiful of a creation nature is.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, like you get a lot of time to think and yeah, stuff like that. I think that's
Nice.
definitely like my number one.
When I, excuse me, when I take time for intentional prayer and reading, which I don't do very often. But the closest that I feel is definitely when I put that time aside. On occasion, I'll do, short bouts of fasting.
Mm-hmm.
And in the midst of doing that, I'll go to the church's prayer room, and I'll just spend a couple of hours in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll just open to a random spot, read, take notes about what I'm reading and what I'm thinking, and out of that comes a very genuine and very inward conversation with God. And those are very powerful and wonderful moments. The first one that I did came at a crisis of, I don't want to say a crisis of faith, but it was a moment in the middle of a worship service, sadly enough, where I, from the deepest parts of my being, I want to say my soul, but I don't think that that's deep enough. Like wherever the core essence of me resides,
Mm-hmm.
it felt physically separated and distant from God, and it hurt, and it made me feel sick, and it's something that I can't like genuinely put words to express what it was.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I could think to do is go pray, go read, fast. I was at a loss, so I did
Mhm.
all of the things that I don't typically do that are associated with a life of faith. Um, that was a 2.5 day fast.
Wow.
Yeah, I literally felt
I like-
broken in half. It was terrible. Um, so I would implore anybody that wants to try a fast and try intentional prayer and reading in that way, do it before you get to a point of feeling that terrible, because it's
Yeah.
not fun. But the outcome is just incredible. But yeah,
Somebody once told me, it's actually at a game dinner. He said sometimes you have to hit that rock bottom so that you know which way is up,
mm-hmm.
right? Otherwise, you're just free floating in water. You don't know which way is up, down, left, right. So
Yeah.
sometimes you have to hit that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another random time that I feel really close to God. And it's whenever I'm driving down the highway and I see like a car accident or something like that.
Hmm.
And like I like every time I pray for the family, pray for like the circumstance and that they find peace and find whatever they need to get through that. And that's something that like I always feel like whenever I do that, God like sends me like a feeling like I'm hearing your prayer. It's like one of more powerful times that when I actually feel a physical reaction to praying. I think it's because that's one of the things in my life that I have like chosen to do that's like totally not for myself. It's just like 100% like to try to help, you know. So that's definitely a time that God I feel hears me.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
definitely feel like those type of prayers are whenever you like fully negate the saying thank you for the things that you're appreciative of, or
right.
like asking for them to watch over things that specifically are for you or like accommodate you or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's just truly like I know what you mean. You get that feeling of like God's like, I hear you, I got you.
Yeah. It's like almost like because you're taking yourself out of the equation. It's like because like God is not really about us. God is about all of us. God is
Mhm.
about
Right.
love and life and happiness, and so yeah, that's cool.
Since we're talking about prayer, can I just say how cathartic it is to be able to yell at God sometimes?
Yeah.
Mm.
Just how good that can feel
What do you mean? Like in what context?
in the context of something maybe terrible is going on. It doesn't even have to be like terrible for you in your immediate sphere of life, but just in
Mhm.
general. And to just be able to go to God in prayer and be like, what's going on? Do you not care? Do you not see this? Are you not hearing anybody? Like, just to be able to take whatever is pent up inside or whatever kind of has you flustered and frustrated from around you,
Yeah.
and to be able to direct that to God and like start a conversation that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's some of my deeper prayers start that way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then
Whether
you
I'm
feel the enlightenment and you're like, oh my
well,
gosh.
yeah,
Like
because
I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah.
well, no, like it's not like a reflective thing of like, oh wait, I shouldn't be yelling at God. It's like I'm actually giving up something that frustrates me, something that is
Gotcha.
weighing down my heart and my soul, and then the conversation and then the time reading scripture after that, um, it's like a full a full conversation, and I don't know. I just kind of want to say that like it's okay to do that
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
In
like
some
that's
ways, you're
it's-
not like yelling at him. You're pretty much just giving yourself fully to however you feel, right?
yeah,
You're
it's
you're
like
being vulnerable, open, and just letting him receive whatever's coming out, right?
yeah,
So
it's venting,
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
and it's okay to do sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, good growth and conversation can come out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully if we're doing things right as the church, as Christians, we should be there to help. Like
Mhm.
part of God's response to someone like that's going through that should be to have somebody in the church attentive and available and paying attention enough to say, "Hey, are you having a bad day? Can we
Mhm.
talk? Can I pray with you? Can I sit in this mess with you for a bit?"
Yeah.
We don't do that very well.
Mm.
We tend to fail upwards quite extravagantly as a church.
Can I tell you just that's something I really like about where I work is like the brotherhood that's there.
Mm.
Man, you have somebody that just seems a little bit off. There's not a single person in that place that won't go, "Hey man, you okay?"
Yeah, that's kind of my work too. It's like that.
Like it's like all joking, like kind of goes aside. You just kind of take them aside. You're like, "Hey man, you okay?" Everyone does it. There's like 30 of us. It's
Yeah, it's really nice.
yeah.
It's good.
I think the crazy thing is like I even like there's a select few people like in my workplace I actually talk to
Mm-hmm.
like in side chats. Like I work completely remote, never physically talking to other people other than like the people who are calling into our work.
Mm-hmm.
So like actually talking to colleagues just doesn't happen. So like it's always started off with like a random conversation in our huge group chat with 40 people. You start a conversation and then you're like, okay, let's just take this to like direct messages. And it's crazy how you can just like pick up on the cues of like people are just not responding the same just via the text message. You're like, are you good? And then like they're like, actually, you know,
Yeah.
stuff's been going on. You're like, all right, well, like we'll take lunch to the same time today. Call me and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And like being able to have that, that's like what you just said. Having that brotherhood is crazy.
And it's also very important, right?
Mhm.
It is. Yeah, we're definitely not meant to do life by ourselves alone.
Right.
Right.
We're meant to do it with other people.
Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people genuinely care too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 There's a lot of good
sure.
people out there.
I think there's a lot more people than most people realize that there are that actually care about them, that will do anything for them.
That's what I learned when I got into this place that I work now. It's like, man, I didn't know that like everyone here actually kind of cares.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
And
weird.
on the opposite side, it's also people care a lot less whenever you mess up than
Mhm.
you feel like they do. Like you think like, oh, I'm such a failure, but then like people that love you are always gonna be like, no, you're not. You're just
Oh,
being
yeah.
stupid. Just stop being stupid.
Yeah. I'm definitely the kind of person that like any small mistake of mine is like the end of the world.
Yeah.
To me, like inside, I'm
Mhm.
like, oh man,
Even
no
like
one's
a
ever gonna look
social
at me the
thing.
same. No one's gonna, you know,
I get
it's all done. It's over.
It's like
It's
you
hard
do.
to let those go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you do the most minor inconvenience for yourself. It doesn't mess anyone else up, but you just mess up one part of your own job, and you're like, they're gonna fire me. They
Oh, yeah.
should.
It's over.
I don't deserve to be employed by this place anymore. I messed up, and they're like, well, what'd you mess up? And you're like, nothing. And it's like something like so dumb that you probably do 30 times a day, and you messed it up the one time.
And your boss is like, I don't care.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah. They're like,
Happens.
Billy Joe over there messed it up 12 times a day. You're all right.
I'm so glad that like those kinds of small mistakes don't get someone fired.
Right?
Because if they
Mhm.
did, the amount of times that I misspelled stuff going on the slides for worship on the weekend,
I have
lot.
I have
A
noticed
lot.
that.
oh
a lot
man,
of times.
I would be so out of a job so fast. I've gotten better though.
Oh yeah.
Spell check.
Better keyboard.
Better keyboard.
Yeah.
So it was the hardware, not the software.
Column A, column B
I see.
of equal amounts.
I see.
Yeah.
I've learned just be honest with your mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honest
It's when
with
you
people
start
and your
lying
mistake.
and
Yeah.
that's when you get into trouble, right? When people can't trust you. That's
Yeah, 100%. Someone will take an honest person that they can trust that doesn't perform as well over someone who performs exceptionally well but they can't trust.
exactly
Over the
100% of the time.
hands down. Yeah.
100% of the time, I want the honest person.
Because you can work
For
with
sure.
the honest person. You
Yeah.
know what their strengths are. Why? Because they probably tell you what they're really bad at.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, okay, well, we have someone else who's really good at that part. We have that
Yeah.
covered. Then you have the person that's good at everything, but you're like, man, like, we don't know if he's actually working or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or,
Can't trust them.
yep.
Yeah. Even think of it like if you would you rather go into a business endeavor with your best friend or with someone who you just met on the street? Who's going to be more likely to screw you over in business endeavor?
Right.
Person on the street.
Well, I mean, it could go either way.
It could go
That's
either way.
Depending on who your best friend
Realistically.
is.
That's true.
Which then you
Getting
probably-
into business with your friend, that'd be tough.
Yeah.
That'd be tough.
I mean,
As much as you would want to, I feel
all
like
depends on the
sometimes it'd be-
business. Like,
Yeah.
I think a small business, yes.
Yeah.
If you're trying to make a big business, like, I think there could be too many things that could, like, occur to where you could, like,
You want to get those
Mess up that
feelings
friendship.
out of the way.
yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, like
you know?
me and Cam, like our business, Sound County. It's like that's something that's coming from God. So that also
True.
what you're doing makes a big difference.
Oh yeah.
Right.
What I was saying obviously isn't 100% either.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Cool.
That was a good talk.
yeah, this
Yeah.
was a good talk. Thank you for coming on the walk and talk.
And walk, talk it, drop it,
Walk it, talk it,
turn
drop it,
around and
Polka dot it.
smock it.
put it in your pocket.
Walk it like a pocket.
Hot pockets.
Hot pocket.
A Foolish Endeavor is hosted by Alex Castile, Dom Fontaine, Chad Lewis, and yours truly, Jake Ratkovich. Music is provided by EpidemicSound.com. This has been Season 2, Episode 2 of A Foolish Endeavor. Hit us up on Instagram at foolish_endeavor_podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for joining us on a little bit of a more deeper topic than usual. But we hope you enjoyed partaking in our conversation of our faith journeys. Happy Easter from your favorite podcasters, hopefully. You can find us on Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, Anchor.fm, and YouTube at Foolish Endeavor Podcast.
Hot pockets. They're always lava or cold.
They are lava or cold.
There's no happy
Yeah,
medium.
there's no.
I found that
there's
you
no
just
good
have to overcook and know it's all lava and give it 10 minutes.
exactly.
Cook
Like,
it
you
till
just
it's
have to-
lava.
Yeah, you just have to give it like
Sit to it.
your cook
hot
time
bath.
is still only gonna be 3 minutes, but until eat time is still like 13 to 15
Oh, yeah.
minutes from start.
You know-
they're like done in 3 minutes. No,
You're like, oh, it's
Yeah.
done all right, but I won't feel my mouth.
Yeah, it's done. It's the temperature of the sun.
Yeah.
But actually,
I can't eat it.
worse than those, I think, is the little pizza rolls.
Oh yeah,
Pizza
Oh,
rolls are molten little bite-sized lava.
Well, and that's the thing too. You take a bite and it'll like
and it just
splatter
yeah,
onto your
it just
mouth,
destroys your
like, just-
your lip.
yeah, your lip, or like sometimes it'll like splatter out on your cheek and it's just
Yeah,
burn.
yeah, and it's
Third
like
degree
third
burn.
degree.
Seriously, man.
Yeah, it's like seriously hot.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, those are. I've had some times with that. I actually got actual. I don't know if it's third degree, but it was like a visible like blister from whenever I was eating a like a what do they call it? Personal pizza thing, and I bit it and the cheese slid out and went all down my chin, and I had no beard, and it just like I had a big red circle on my
Ooh.
face for like a solid 2
Wow.
weeks.
I think your food was too hot.
Yeah, I think yeah.
think it was too hot, bud.
Yeah, I probably should.